Texas Tech versus Oregon had all the hype in the world going into week number one. Then Texas Tech had to go and blow it with a double overtime loss on the road against Wyoming. Now, there's one really big takeaway, two takeaway from that football game, and it's not the Texas Tech loss to Wyoming. Wyoming's a pretty good team. I had them at plus 14.5. I had the over at 50. I had a very good day on that game in particular, but don't overthink that Texas Tech loss. Texas Tech still has a lot of potential. But here's one thing to note. Texas Tech struggles in away games. They struggle turning the ball over. That game was delayed a couple hours before it actually ended up getting started anyway. And you scored 17 points in the first quarter. Your next points came with 10 seconds left in the fourth quarter to give you 20 total. It's a rough out, and it's not going to get it done against Oregon, who just hung 81 on Portland State. Now, again, 81 against Portland State isn't nothing to write home about, but it is something to take into consideration. If you have an offense that is severely struggling, going up against an offense that hasn't struggled since, Georgia game last year, you're going to be in for a very rough day. I don't care if you're home or away or what. But let's go ahead and take a look at this Oregon game, because there's some hidden things here. Bo Nix is 23 for 27, 287 yards. Don't look at his yards. Don't look at his touchdowns. Don't look at the score. Look at his completion percentage. 23 for 27. The backup went 7 for 8. All that says to me is that Oregon's offensive efficiency isn't going to be, hey, let's take shots downfield and let's hope my receiver can come down with it like what we saw with Texas against Rice on Saturday. This is, hey, Bo, hit the open man, take the easy yards, get what the defense gives us, and then we'll go score later on. Bucky Irving, four carries, 119 yards. You can't beat that. You can't beat it, period. He had 2 touchdowns. Jordan James had 3. Bo surprisingly didn't do as much running this week. At least he isn't listed on the stat sheet at all. I don't remember him just scrambling as much or anything either. Maybe he's still nursing that injury from last year. I doubt it. It is a possibility. But regardless, look at the efficiency for Oregon on offense. Don't look at the score. Don't look at Portland State. Don't look at the 81 points. Just look at their efficiency. That's what you want out of a team that's about to go on the road and play in a very tough environment against a pretty good team. Look at their receiving. You had 2 guys with over 100 yards. Both of them had 7 catches and 2 touchdowns. Bucky Irving had 3 for 30. Terrence Ferguson 3 for 26. Trayshawn Holden, the Alabama transfer, 2 for 17. They're going to find ways to get him involved. Troy Franklin's still probably going to be wide receiver 1. Gary Bryant Jr. is going to be that wide receiver 2. But I'd expect Trayshawn Holden and his speed to get involved in some different ways as this season progresses. Look at team stats. Now, again, Portland State isn't nothing crazy, but 4 for 15 on third down. If you have a third down performance like that, again, if you're Oregon, you're going to be pretty all right. Turnovers, you've only forced 1 turnover, so you only have 1 extra possession. You still were able to put up 87 or 81 points. Pretty good. Penalties, 2 for 20. Again, just something to note as you get closer to this Texas Tech game. 729 total yards of offense. On the flip side of that, Texas Tech, let's take a look at this. Again, you can see the box score up here, right? 17 points in the first quarter. You don't score again until you kick a field goal late to force overtime. That's not going to get it done against this Oregon team. It's not, just plain and simple. Andrew Presley, 18 for 34, not his best day. I mean, you barely went under over 50% throwing the ball. Only 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, you got it done. That's not bad. You 15 carries, 68 yards. So what is this just casual point off to you? It tells me you got a quarterback that's mediocre at passing the ball, a quarterback that can run the ball pretty well. They were able to beat Texas Tech defensively. Tells me that sounds like Bo Nix should have a field day throwing the ball. Bo Nix can beat you with his legs. And, I mean, that's not going to get it done against a very good Oregon defense. Tyler Shook, as they were saying on the broadcast, 31 for 47, 340 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's not bad. It's really not. But you can't put up those numbers in overtime and then late in the fourth quarter and expect to win. Oregon could very easily win this thing by, 20 or 30 if you let them. They could just blow away, and then you're having to play catch up, and you may never catch them. That's the situation for Texas Tech with this thing. Jaron Bradley, 8 catches, 88 yards. Back to his normal shenanigans from last year. He was the leading wide receiver for Texas Tech last season. Miles Price, 6 for 65. Dre McCray, 5 receptions, 42 yards. So, all in all, for Texas Tech, not a bad day, but you're not going to be able to run for 93 yards, turn the ball over, and have a quarterback just run all over you with mediocre throwing and beat Oregon. Because Oregon's not Wyoming. Oregon is days and years ahead of Wyoming, and where Wyoming will even be this season. Too many W's there. So that's the nature of things. So let's look at this Oregon-Texas Tech game. You can see, Oregon gave up some yards on the ground, not so much passing, but Portland State, if you can't pass, you got to run. So it is what it is. Now, Oregon's 6.5-point favorites. I like it. Oregon over-under is at 67. I like the under because I think this could be a game where Oregon just tries to run the ball a lot, and if they get a big lead, they may run the ball and run the clock out because it's so much easier to run the clock out this day and age. So I'll post my same game parlay on Friday, so be sure to hit that subscribe button. But it's in Lubbock. It's a night game. 6.5-point favorites to Oregon. You have if you're a bet openly guy, Geno is a home dog in prime time. Well, you've got a home dog, you've got a prime time slot. However, this game is probably going to be overlooked by Alabama and Texas. I don't know if home dogs in prime time mean as much in college football sense as it does in NFL and basketball or whatever. I just don't think if you watch the Texas-Alabama game preview, I took Alabama to win, Texas to cover. I don't think this is a situation. I think Oregon wins. I think Oregon covers. I just didn't see enough out of Texas State last week. I don't think it's enough to turn that efficiency around very quickly against a already efficient and high-powered Oregon offense. Bo Nix probably going to win could win a Heisman this year. Tyler Shaw is not going to do that. Texas Tech can probably put up some points, but again, I'm rocking with Oregon to win, Oregon to cover. I'll probably lean the under, if anything, but that's just how I see this game playing out. Let me know in the comments how you guys think this game plays out. Does Oregon win? Does Texas Tech get it together? And hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys on Saturday.